Hello, this is wmpyr. For today we're going to be working with, this is the LLC fixed blade. It is a trainer, so please use a training knife. Invest in a training knife. Very, very important. Don't use a live blade. So anyway, the idea here is to calibrate your targeting. Okay, we want to become accurate as possible. And the best example I could give you is first, when you're going to use the knife, the most common ways, the most common areas is you have your stab, you have your cut, which is like a slash, and then of course you have your pommel strike. So you're using the butt end of the knife to strike. That is not the only stuff that you could do. There's more than that, but those are the three most common, right? That's nice and easy to do on a target that's not moving. So right here, I could easily bam, I could easily stab, and then I could boom, not a problem. And I didn't miss, right? But once this starts moving and stuff, and then I have to go from here, as this thing is moving on a live opponent, changes everything, changes everything. So the best example I could give you guys, I don't want to make it a long story, but when I first started in a Taekwondo type of style, right? When I threw a kick, it's boom, you're using the foot or the ankle to kick. You go to Thai boxing, you use the shin kicks, right? But when I actually sparred, when I actually fought, I noticed that when I threw a kick, it would go right back to the Taekwondo style of kicking. Even though I had put in a lot of time and a lot of repetitions, working my shins, making them hard, hitting against stuff, and I put in a lot of reps, but when it came down to actual fighting, I'm going right back to the Taekwondo style of kicking. Why? Because my targeting was calibrated towards that. So I had to readjust for the Thai boxing style. And what I did, something that really, really helped me out, was I would imagine I'm throwing a knee at the target. So I throw a knee and then extend, and that's where the shin kick came in. So once I started doing that, once I started thinking about the knee first, then I started landing the shin kicks. They were right on target. So that's the similar idea right here, okay? So when you are going to stab, you could use the thumb right here. So the thumb is going to guide your stab right here. So I know that my stab is going to land because the thumb is aiming, all right? And I'm not necessarily thinking of aiming with over here. I'm thinking the thumb, boom, right there, okay? And the other thing you could do is, if you're holding it this way, is right between the thumb and the pointer finger, right in between. That's kind of like on a gun. That's your sight. So boom, I'm using that as my aim, if that makes sense. And now for the slashes, there's two things that can happen. So when you're trying to cut like this, two things. One is you're way too close to the target, and number two is you're way too far on the target. If you're way too close to the target and boom, if your hand accidentally hits, if they're holding a weapon or something and you accidentally hit that, it might be, that's it. You may have ruined your hand, hurt your hand, injured yourself, and you might drop the weapon or who knows what. So if you're way too far and you miss, at least you could keep working, and then get to the proper adjustment here. But if you start too close, that first shot, it might be too late. And then from here to try to adjust, your hand may already be hurt. So it's smarter and better to start from too far away. In order to do that, imagine that your blade is really long. So even though the blade is actually here, I'm going to imagine it to be like this much, maybe double the length. And then so from here, I'm going with this. Boom, boom, boom. And then I work to get closer and closer and closer. And that's how I get more accurate, get more precise cuts that way, okay? Now, with the pommel strike right here, the idea here is kind of similar, but I'm going to imagine that my forearm is the aim. So I'm going to be aiming with the forearm. So if I'm too close and I actually hit with the forearm, it's okay, because that's what we do in Eskrima. We use our forearm, so that's not a problem. If I accidentally aim incorrectly and I hit with my hand, this is not good. Unless the knuckles hit, that's fine, but if my fingers hit onto the target, once again, I may damage the hand, so I don't want to do that. So that's why instead of aiming too close, and if you try to aim with just here, with the pommel, there's a chance you may get too close and you may scrape your fingers on the target. We don't want that. So in that case, it's better to use the forearm, and if you miss and you hit with the forearm, it's all right. And then from there, you can adjust to pommel, forearm, and then pommel. So hope this makes sense. Please try it out, but do it safe, nice and safe. And remember, always invest in a trainer. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.